Well, g'day everyone. It's the Two Ordinary Cops, and it just died. What happened?
It did. I don't know what happened there, mate. Did you turn it off or?
No idea. No idea, but I can yell. It's okay.
It's all right, mate. You don't need to yell because it's still getting recorded through the system.
No, very
as
good.
long as people can hear you, it should be all right.
No, it's all well. So, where are we, mate?
Well, mate, we're at the Gold Coast Tavern, sitting here with a pretty rowdy bunch, actually, looking at them. Yeah. So we've just come here today. I've got to say, the reason we're here today is Damo Doug sitting down there in the front. Put your hand up.
Yeah, let's have a round. Well done.
All right, so this started off, I think it was about 8 months ago, if I'm correct. But basically, he wanted to catch up for a beer because he's listened to our podcast from the very start. And then I had this great idea that we'd do a live show. And so that's why we're here today. So, so thank you, Damo, for starting this up. And you were right on board with that as well, so.
Oh, anything for a beer.
Yeah.
I knew I'd like you, mate.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to pass over to Damo.
He always stitches me up like that. Righto, so what we're doing, guys, we're doing a live podcast. Well, it's obviously live recorded, but what we wanted to do was just get to know everybody. We're not a big deal. We've got a fairly, it's a relatively, it's successful. It's going ahead. The podcast is growing, and that's really good. But what we want to do is actually get to know everyone. The whole idea of us, like we continually say, is that there is nothing extraordinary about us. We are two ordinary cops who did the job for a long time, and I'm looking out at a lot of faces who've also done the job. So we want to hear from you guys. We're nothing special. We're no better than anyone else. So the idea behind the podcast, like you'd all know, is that we can and will talk. So one of Schilty's mates obviously said that you should do a podcast, and it's getting a pretty good receipt. I think the reason being is that we don't talk about the big murder investigation. We don't talk about how huge jobs. It's more about the constant jobs and the ordinariness of the work. The fact that what we did day in, day out was extraordinary to a lot of people, and we didn't realise that until we got out of the job and we weren't surrounded by police all the time. So that's why the podcast exists, and that's what we're doing. So I think what we'll do is we've gone through, obviously everyone's listened to the podcast. We went through how we joined the college, and we went through 2007. And you keen, Di? She hasn't said yes yet. So we're very lucky. In the room is one of the two sergeant instructors we had as recruit constables at the police college in Darwin in 2007. So would you like to come up at all, Di? You can tell me no, and I'll bring Carlos up instead. There she comes. So ladies and gents, this is Di Gallo. So round of applause. Jump in the middle.
Yep.
So this is Mum.
Yeah, that's right.
We were little hatchlings, and this was Mother Chook sitting on the eggs. And she was a hard taskmaster. And see that look? It was exactly the same then. How are you, Di?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
She has not changed a bit. So, Di, Squad 91, 2007. We started on February 26th. Obviously, it wasn't your first squad that went through, but we got along pretty well. Well, we had it wasn't love-hate, it was love-fear relationship with Di. So what did you think of us?
Well, I still remember getting the pile of folders with everybody's applications and background and everything before you even got off the plane, and had to read through them. And I knew I was in for a challenge.
Hey, why did you look at me?
The other sergeant, Mark Nash,
Yeah.
he'd left some notes on top of it. I can't disclose what they were. They were interesting.
You're amongst friends. Although we are sending this to the world, so you're not really saying. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it actually started off a bit rough because I'd been to the rugby on the weekend and ended up with an infected foot. So I think my first day with you guys was coming in with a sock on because I couldn't get my boot on my infected foot.
Yeah.
And it just went downhill from there.
Yeah. I love it. Was it you who coined the term that we didn't scrape the bottom of the barrel, we tipped the barrel over and scraped the dirt underneath it when we got you in?
No. We moved the the barrel aside and we dug down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty rough crew. It was pretty good.
No, you were great. You were good.
I think she's been
You were entertaining. I think is the word.
Yeah, well, look, I'm just going to steal this a little bit because, look, we did get a number of pink slips through our college life. So a pink slip is probably an X next to your name. I think if you got 3, you had to explain why you should remain in the course. Is that correct?
Yeah, most were on about 2.9.
Yeah. and I do. The problem with me, I've got a very loud voice. Well, anybody that really knows me, and I do remember we went out to was it Litchfield Park?
Yeah, we did our search and rescue training and cultural awareness training.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah.
That's right. And I think we'd had a couple of sherbets down at the falls, and I think it was me, and I mentioned Katie McKean, and I can't remember the third one. But,
there was a certain Daniel Breed that turned up there. I believe.
Oh,
We're going to talk about that, are we?
yeah.
Sorry, Brady.
It did get a little interesting.
That's right.
I think I sent everybody to bed,
Yeah,
like a good mother should.
you did.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But then I do remember a couple of us got punishment the next morning.
That wasn't on me. I was a bit, I don't take credit for that one.
Oh, right.
The line search that ended up, the line search after the 6 hours of line searching and picking up cigarette butts. No,
that's
I
right,
will not take responsibility for that one.
So who was responsible for that?
That might have been somebody else that was, not me.
Ever the diplomat. So Di, obviously we started through the academics and everything, all the rest of it. It is what it is. The academics is basically you learn legislation as you go through, and it's pretty dry. It's death by PowerPoint. It would have been hard to train. It would have been a pain in the ass, was it?
I loved it. I was passionate about it.
Well, you need to know it, but it's
Just that everybody else in the room wasn't.
No. No, so I think we did okay. We had some pretty good academics not here, but we had some pretty good academics in the squad. But then we moved through it. I think the biggest thing with us was it was pretty good character. We're a pretty characterful squad.
Well, I guess my concern was most of you had come from interstate and the territory's different.
Yeah.
And as I said before, it's deer in the headlights, and you need a bit of, I guess, seasoning for the territory. And as a born and bred Territorian myself, you can look around and go, these guys are going to struggle.
Oh, yeah.
you know that, it's not all roses and unicorns and,
No.
fairy bread.
No.
You're going out into reality and you're going to get spat on, shat on, yelled at, all of the, punched, kicked,
Yep.
whatever it might be. And, you can't sugarcoat things. So it's about seasoning the crew and preparing them for what they're in for.
Yeah, I do remember you getting slapped on the arse once or twice, though, Di.
Yeah, but that was you, Schulte.
Oh,
So that was Easter.
it was. Yeah, we Damo and I, we weren't planning on going out on the piss, but we got
Not leaving the barracks to go out on the piss.
Yeah, sorry.
Usually
yes.
it was on the veranda.
Yes, sorry. So to give a bit of history, we were actually named the 2 biggest alcoholics, I think, on the base or
Which
something. at the
wasn't
moment.
correct.
No, it's not
Yeah.
correct. We used to sit at the front of Damo's little donga there and have a probably 6-pack between us each afternoon, which is 3 beers. And usually studying legislation while we did it.
I
But
doesn't
the
believe you,
problem-
but we were.
I
Problem
saw
is-
the exam results, Schulte. I marked your exams.
But the problem is the bosses used to drive past,
Yeah.
and watch us having a tin, at the end of the day, and apparently it got mentioned, didn't it?
Well, given the fact that the Commissioner's house was just across the other side of the Oval, we had to sort of send some punishment down the line.
So anyway, one afternoon, just before Easter, the Easter weekend, or I think it was just the start of the Easter weekend, we're having a couple of beers out just out the front of Damo's little donga there, and anyway, some of the boys coming, we're going to the city. You want to come in the city? No, we're not interested at all. Anyway, they kept on pushing, and we go, all right. So Damo forgot he was wearing his PT shorts.
That's right, yeah.
So they're physical training shorts, which had the emblem on it, the tri emblem on it, which was what is it? Police,
Fire,
and emergency
Yeah.
services. So we went out that night and got extremely drunk. Partied, I think it was Duck's Nuts.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was Duck's Nuts.
It was Duck's Nuts. So that was a big police place back then. And anyway, I obviously took a liking to your ass, Sarge. And and I slapped it a couple of times. And yeah, then I was going to kick in here.
So what I loved was at the time it was all very nonchalant, but what you did excuse yourself and leave and go, right, shit's getting out of control. I'm out of here. We thought nothing of it. We went home. We did we'd had a big exam the week on the Thursday before the Good Friday. We came back. So Monday was a public holiday. Tuesday we're back at work, and I explained this on one of the podcasts recently. We turned up. And no one was in the room. There were no instructors. So I remember we all got in there and go, "Where's Ashy and Todd? They're not here yet." We didn't call them that. There was Sarge. It was all pretty formal. But anyway, Di comes in and she goes, "Right. So you people think it's appropriate that you go out on the town and you slap the ass of your sergeant," and we're all sitting there going. So we thought, I don't think many of us knew about that. But anyway, we soon worked it out. So I think it was that time, or either PT or then, you've gone, right, so everyone get your PT gear and let's go. So keep in mind it's April, so it's coming out of the wet season, into the dry season. So it's getting more comfortable around the place. But that's where we went across to PMC. And Di was notorious for, you were getting into your physical fitness quite a bit at that stage. So the rest of us weren't. So anyway, we get the way the building's set out is this old external forest-scapes. So she sealed them up, generated as much humidity as she could, and the whole squad went up and down, running up and down the steps, 3 stories, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'll never forget, I ran past you and she said, "We're not leaving till 3 of you spew." And we just kept running and kept running and kept running, and that was it. That was good. It was a little bit of a get your heads back in line and think about what you're actually doing, because like you already said, we want you to have a sense of humour. We want you to have fun, but you're about to go out there and deal with the Northern Territory, and we've all seen the news, we've all heard the podcast, we know what goes on out there, and it built a bit of resilience, Di. I think it was necessary.
Yeah, I think, a bit of character building, as I think we used to refer to it as. After being a PT instructor, there was, I'm not sure if it was your squad or the next one, but I had an assistant commissioner come up to me and sort of said, "Oh, how come people are," it was a graduation, and he said, "Why are people still fat when they're graduating?" And at the time, I'd just been removed from being the PT instructor, so I was like, not my bag, but look at the last squad. They're all right. We managed to get them through. Yeah, but it was a bit about character building and a bit of resilience that you needed to go out and do the job there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a pretty job.
Yeah, no.
But we had a lot of fun. I mean, I still remember turning up as your shift sergeant at a job in Katherine that was very interesting too. I don't know if you want me to talk about
Go
that.
for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, we'd never spoken about that. That'd be good.
No,
actually.
yeah.
I don't know I don't think you were on
Chris-
shift.
no, I wasn't.
But
Christmas
Katie
Day?
was there.
Christmas
No.
Day? No.
Oh no, that was the baby.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
The baby. That's a different one. No,
So just
let me
before we
see.
kick off here, basically, Sergeant Brown came down and became a shift sergeant in Katherine when we left the college. Is that correct?
It was a progression
Yeah,
of your
progression.
training.
Yeah. So, and I think she probably looked at us going down to Katherine going, they're going to need a little bit more guidance.
Yeah. Even to the extent that after I left the job, went to Dubai, I was still getting phone calls from you, Schultzy. Sarge! What do I do with this? Like, ask your sergeant.
Yeah.
No, they're only a senior constable. Hang up.
If that.
Yeah, exactly. No, this job in Katherine, I remember turning up and you were there with Hooley,
Yeah.
Katie McKean.
Yep.
It was a bit of a nasty job. But when I rocked up as a shift sergeant, you all disappeared and nobody wanted to talk to me. And it was like, what's going on? There was just this funny vibe. And I think I asked the question as, why aren't you telling me what happened? And one of you turned around and went, we sprayed the complainant.
Ah, you get that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, now I remember that one.
remember that
I'd
one?
forgotten about that story, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say who sprayed the complaint, but...
Oh, yeah, I know who sprayed. Anyway, yeah, so that was the one. Yep. But yours...
I do remember that now.
Yeah,
yours
was that Christmas? Were you there for
the
that?
Christmas day?
Yeah, I wasn't there.
No, I was there. That was that domestic, that big domestic, was it? The one where we...
I thought you were talking about the 10-day-old baby that we
Yeah, that's...
got in.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, that was before the Christmas domestic.
Yeah.
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 You'll have to tell the
Yeah.
crowd because they have no idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's right.
Okay.
So, well, you tell the first story because that was about the...
The baby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, a horrible story because you get a call on Christmas Day to go to the local shopping centre because there's a woman there with a baby that is not even able to stand up, they're that drunk. And you've got a 10-day-old baby laying on the ground in front of her. The baby wasn't hers. The baby is in plaster cast. What do? I think we took the baby to the hospital, probably because of the plaster cast. They identified who the baby was and took it from there. But that's the sort of thing that you were dealing with.
Yeah. And then... And I remember that so that day was pretty cruisy, actually, up until that point, for a Christmas Day. It was pretty good. But then we were actually still writing up the stuff of that job when the second shift, so we were working then 12-hour shift, 7 till 7, so 7 p.m. and we're still writing up the report for this baby. And then we get a urgent assistance over the radio because the night crew had actually gone to a job. And it was, we now call it the famous Christmas domestic, where somebody touched the turkey and it turned into hell on earth. Now, the issue is, we won't mention names here because there's one that's still in the job, there's one that's not, and all that sort of stuff. But the situation goes, we rocked up at this event after getting called out, and the guy's basically locked himself in the house, won't let us come in the house. He won't let us come and search to make sure she's all right. There's obviously been a domestic. One of the officers saw a bit of blood on the driveway and then thought, something else might have gone on. Anyway, this guy was very, very volatile. And so we all rocked up there. Anyway, one of my senior partner at the time basically took charge of it. He was probably the most senior officer. And he basically was asking, mate, we have to come in, we have to make sure, we have to do a safety check, make sure everybody's safe, blah, blah, blah. Luckily, Hurley, I'll mention him because he was working as well on that shift, and he knew the guy. And the guy goes, I'll let him come in and search the house, but only him because he'd met him on a previous job and respected him. Anyway, and Hurley said, I need somebody else to come in, so Hurley chose me. Went in, searched the house, high and low. Yep, no, she's not here. Came out. The officer that originally called for the backup was a bit of a problem child. And she basically... Yeah. Anyway, she said, I don't think that search was sufficient. And we're going, what? Like, are you for real? So anyway, Hurley is allowed to go back in again. We do the search again. No, she's definitely not there. Like, we searched cupboards everywhere. There's nobody in the house. Anyway, and then basically we're happy she's not there. We've got to do further investigations before we go any further because he wasn't giving us any information. There was kids there. They're not giving us any information. He had a son that had just gone through Kapuka training. And it then turned around where the senior officer then said, I need your name and details, in relation to this investigation. And the father turned around and said, basically, fuck off. Anyway, he said, well, it's an offence not to actually, give this information, and if you fail to give it, you'll be arrested. So anyway, he's basically said the same thing. While this is happening, I've got a party pack now. A party pack is a very large canister. It's like a mini fire extinguisher. of pepper spray. And I've passed it back to this problem child and said, you know, just in case it turns south, because the son had moved up, these are two big guys. They were probably 6'2", 6'3", and big, solid guys. Anyway, so the senior officers then stepped forward and said, well, you're under arrest, because he then said, basically told him to fuck off again. As we've stepped forward and grabbed him, the son has taken a swing at my head. And luckily I saw it coming, and I managed to move my head back enough where it glanced off my forehead. I'm lucky I got a German skull. And anyway, and then basically what I did is I ducked and moved back to give myself more room. And the senior partner was dealing with the dad. But the problem is, the problem child behind me decided that it was time to pepper spray.
Everybody.
There were 6 cops there, the son and 2 other children and the dad. Everybody in that backyard copped pepper spray. We just got hosed in it. So I copped it right up the back of my head. Anyway, basically, it's one of the funny things. So then I jumped back. He ran at me. I tackled him. I just went back to my rugby training and just actually picked him up, drove him into the ground, and then we wrapped up the son. That was all right. But then it was funny because the dad, I remember Hooley and another officer, I won't mention his name because I'm not sure if he's still in the job or not. But anyway, they're sitting there. And in the training, we got taught when to handcuff somebody, you tell them to put their hands out like an aeroplane. Right. And we thought, this is ridiculous. Who's going to listen when you say to this violent offender, put your hands out like an aeroplane? Anyway, as per their training, because they're new recruits, they've done it. And the father complied. He put his hands out like an aeroplane to be handcuffed, and they're just looking at each other going, holy shit, it worked. But so that's the famous Christmas domestic. They both got locked up. They both got convicted. And then but we've always called it the Christmas domestic from then on and it was all over, honestly, somebody touching the turkey.
So I'll just add on to that a bit, because there was a lot of violence there. There was basically every copper came out of there with bumps and scratches all over him. It was a big, bad fight. I think the saving grace was it happened right at 7 o'clock at night, so it was basically right on shift change. So there was 2 patrol groups able to respond to it. But you talk about raising the level of force. That was definitely that level. We're not talking about lethal force level by any means, but that's almost worse, because when you've got to stand off with high level weapons, it's easy. You stand back, you make demands, you use high level use of force against them. But yeah, that's just rough, violent, hard.
But it also justifies why you get sprayed with OC in training.
Yeah,
absolutely. Eat the stuff. Use this bloody coating.
And I also chose, I think, because we could either take the little, what was it, the mini Mark 9, was it? No.
Yeah, the little Mark 4, yeah.
Or we could get the
Party pack.
Yeah, or we could get the party pack, and you could choose which one you wanted. I chose the party pack, and my biggest fault was I was just acting tough and probably being male, macho male, and all that sort of stuff. And when they sprayed me, I've yelled out, "Bring it on!" Problem is, I had my mouth open when this party pack and it just went straight down my throat.
Was that when we were doing defensive tactics training, or was that when we did the riot training when somebody had pink hair?
Oh, yes.
And
what about
and
that?
the wife beat a singlet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I've still got the video. It's on your video.
That's why I married her, folks.
No, it was a DT training, but you've got to tell that story.
Yeah, so there was some social order training going on, and they came down, the training coordinator that was running that came down and asked if they could borrow the squad to assist with some social order, riot training, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, let's do it. This sounds like fun. So the idea was that we all got prepared that we were going to be the rioters. And some took the memo and the task a bit further than others and came out with pink hair and wife beater singlets
And a split eyebrow.
and ended up with a split eyebrow.
He got dealt with appropriately too.
Pretty feral in the end.
So that was really good fun. So I'll paint you a picture. We're training these guys in public order riot training. We're the recruits. So they're decked out, all their PPE, and we're just dressed like scum who are basically attacking them. So it's good fun. I dabbled in it in the army, and how hard does the army train, Todd? Yeah, it's a little bit, they don't care about injuries because they've got their own hospitals, so they don't give a shit, they'll break you in half. So I trained like that a little bit. I was at none trained, I wasn't at the battalions, but I'd certainly learned how to do it really, really hard. And then we go out there and we're basically just be a bit annoying. It's like 2 GD's cops would deal with this mob. It's like, let's raise the bar a little bit. So we were going a bit stupid. There was a couple of ex-defence in the squad as well, and Leasy was another one who went a bit hard.
Yeah, he went a little...
And basically we thought we're going to attack the cops, we're going to fully attack them. And
you brought out the water balloons too.
Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, we should have pissed in them, but anyway. So we, a very, very good friend of mine who I didn't know at this point, and the reason we're very good friends is he's got a very, very good way of dealing with riders. He goes, there's what you call a prominent. So I'm a prominent. You've got to remove the prominent from the crowd, and you'll de-escalate the situation. So we've come through. They've got an arrest team, burst out, grabbed me, pulled me back through the line. He was the supervisor, so he's got me back through. He grabs me across the face by the hair like that and gave me a swift strike straight to the face, no mucking about, full hard as he could. You want to be a smart ass, do you, boy? And down I went, oh, help me! And I'm on the ground and he split my eyebrow completely. So I'm bleeding all over the place and everyone's a bit worried. I go, I'm right, it's okay. I'm trying to be tough, going, mummy! Anyway. So he was good. He's a very, very hard, still on the job, very, very good man, very hard cop. Anyway, he comes up at the end of all this training and he slaps a 4X Gold can into my chest and spilled half it all over me. He goes, good on you, mate. You got into that, didn't you, brother? Good on you. Anyway, we're bloody good mates. To this day, we still are. But I thought I was being all funny and being tough and stuff, and I probably should have pulled my head in. But I got it pulled in pretty well. So. Yeah.
And actually, I do believe we've got a photo. I've got a photo at home of us after that, all lined up in our riot gear. So I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it on the socials. Now, sorry, I've got to tell this story before I forget as well. When you were a sergeant of us down in Catherine, anyway, Hooley and I were working together one night. We get called to a domestic. It must have been about 9 o'clock at night, something like that. Anyway, get called to this domestic. We get there, everything's calm. Speak to the people. Anyway, we're speaking, there's 2 women there, a guy, and there's a kid. Anyway, so we're speaking to them. They're not giving us any information at all, but we're just getting their details. And Hooley spoke to the guy who's sitting there calm as anything. He's just, chilled out, which you always watch. If you ever go to a domestic and he's really chilled out and the other 2 are frantic, he's probably the problem. So anyway, Hooley's just gone to him because, what's your name? He's gone, fuck off. And Hooley's gone,
what's your date of birth?
He goes, you tell me to fuck off one more time, I'm going to skull drag you out of here. Anyway, the guy goes, gives his name, details, right. It's all right, okay. There was nothing we could do. So anyway, we've gone, literally, it's 2-minute drive from the station, and you're the shift sergeant. We've pulled back in, we've gone into the muster room, VKM. Can you go to this same address? There's now like another report of a domestic. And then you've turned to us and gone, we're not going to get a third call, are we, boys? No, Sarge. No, you're not. So anyway, we go back in there, and it's funny, we rock in there, and now the screen door's been ripped off the hinges. The kid had to run to the next door. They're still not giving us any information, but we pretty much know he's the offender. And Hurley's gone to him and said, mate, you come with us, and he's gone, fuck off. He got skull dragged out of there.
Bail refused.
Yeah. So I do want to ask you as well, obviously we're 18 years down the track now. Are you proud of your little chickens? How'd we go?
Well, no, I guess one of the things that was really satisfying as the years went by was to see the people that had gone through the college, and I guess you two included, achieving greatness and achieving those ranks and moving up through the organisation. Some have gone on to, I guess I look at the current commissioner, and I was his sergeant at one stage. Former commissioner who I went through training with. I don't think we mentioned. But a lot of the rank and file now are people that were, I supervised over the years, and I guess from my perspective, it's just nice to think that you played a little part in that journey and maybe gave some sort of good advice along the way, or bad.
Pretty bad.
That you ignored.
That's right.
and didn't take on board. So enjoy the ride, and it was good.
Yeah, that's great. Anything you thought we'd asked that we haven't asked, Di? That's a loaded question. That's a detective thing. Yeah. Anything you thought we'd ask you that we haven't asked you that you want to talk about? There's that bloody look again. See, I told you, she's still got me. I finished up a detective acting senior sergeant, and she still intimidates the shit out of me. Anything?
How many pink slips did you end up with
I got one.
for the shorts?
Yes. Yeah.
I think I was already almost giving calls. Yeah, I wasn't that good. I was. I'm good with my hands. When it comes to theory, not the best man in the room. That's for sure. I did learn, however, and I did pick up. I remember the surprise on your face when suddenly I went from, I think it was 60% on the exams, and I got like 85 or something. And your look was, it still had that same, it's like daggers. She looks at you, but you can see a bit of approval in the eyes. And she just looked at him. It was almost to the point where she's judging me and going, did you fucking cheat on this? Because it was actually Luke Houlihan just taught me a better way of learning. And my grades jumped up. So I think I got 2 pink slips for failing exams.
Look, I think, I'm not quite sure how many squads went through while I was at the college, but there was certainly a point as an instructor where you're standing up in the front of the class and everybody's looking off into the space and you think, okay, and then you take another tact and it's dry. It's still dry, it's boring, and it's like teaching fraud after lunch. Oh, great. Who set that timetable? But there was a point when you could see the lights would come on and it's like, oh my gosh, I've done my job. we might get a graduation yet. And I think there were some times where, you had a few that were on that sort of last leg with the pink slips, and, I did have a few meetings with commanders and the like to kind of, maybe they're not so academic, but they can lift heavy things and let's hang on to them, sort of thing.
That's me.
I guess I copped a bit of flack during that time for changing the PT assessment and things like that. Because it was all gender-based and all the rest of it, and swayed in the, it would have been in my favour these days, but back in the day it was really hard on young guys to try and get in, and you could do 30 push-ups, but you might not get a 9.6 on the beep test. But hey, you made it. You did it.
Got there.
Oh my God. Mustn't have been so bad.
No, we were very happy with that actually. So we appreciate you coming along. It's been bloody good to see you. It's been too long, and we still call you mum.
Yeah.
I know.
You've probably got grandkids now, but that's okay.
No.
Police grandkids.
After having you lot.
No.
No children.
So let's hear it. Di, Gallo, everybody. Thanks very much, Di. Thanks for coming along. Carlos, how was your squad?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
We were very special.
Very special group of people. There you go.
Hey, Carlos, do you mind if we tell the story about the red button?
Just stand by.
Yeah.
There
You
we go.
remember the red button where you press the police radio when we
You can yell at
Di will be able to tell you about this one as well. When we were travelling back, I think we were doing the donations for what was it, the heart or blood or
The Red Cross.
the Red Cross. That's right. We got asked on a Saturday to go out and actually get donations and all this sort of thing as a well-to-do, and I think it probably might have saved.
Door knock appeal.
Yeah, door knock appeal, and it might have saved us from a pink slip or two to be able to get roped into this on a Saturday. But anyway, we've decided that, and Di, who was just up here, she said we had one of the police cars there, and it was just one of the unmarked police cars for the college, and she said, but it had a police radio in it. And anyway, she said, oh, can you just take this back to the station? You may as well drop this back off and park it up at the Peter McCauley Centre. Yeah, we can do that. We're just recruits travelling around. This is really cool. Anyway, on the drive back, Carlos decides that he's going to have a look at this radio. What he doesn't realise is he's pressed the red button. Was it red? It was a red button.
Yeah, the orange button.
The orange button, that's right.
So it's a Motorola handset. They're pretty common in emergency services. They're fairly complex to operate unless you know what you're doing, but there's one thing you can't fuck up, and that there's a big orange button on the top of it.
Yeah.
And it's an emergency button. So what it does, it basically broadcasts immediately. So as soon as you press that, it broadcasts for about, 3 minutes or something. So if you're getting your head caved in, you can press a button and everyone can hear, and you can just yell a location and people will come to you.
Yeah. And it'll cut out anybody else that's trying to talk.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Anyway,
Which is great in an emergency.
it's fantastic. However, when your recruit's driving back after this door knock appeal, and he hits it, and then it sends out a little goes, and then he's going, holy fuck!
No,
I've hit the red button.
it was better than that.
I was.
So the rest of us could hear it, and we hear this, "Doop," and we can hear talking. Is that the on button? I don't even know, man. Is that the on button? I think. Holy shit, man! I just hit the red button. How do I turn the motherfucker off, man? Holy shit! What are we gonna do? Everybody can hear us, man. That's the worst Peruvian South American accent I've ever.
The funniest part
That's
is
exactly, and we remember going, he's going to jail. You got to remember we're bloody little baby police officers. We don't even know.
We're piglets.
We're piglets.
You're still
We
recording.
know nothing. And yeah, he's hit the red button. The outcome would have just been dickheads, and that would have been it.
And that's it basically. We didn't get anything except I think Di, you came in and said all you could hear after that was your laughter because I was driving the car and I got a very loud laugh and well, if you listen to the podcast you probably hear it plenty of times. But all they could hear was me pissing myself laughing.
Yeah, I think Di came out with the watch commander's not happy.
Yeah.
The watch commander doesn't give a shit, man.
But if someone tells you, don't push the red button, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Push the red button.
Well, so we'll move on. Thanks very much, Di and Carlos.
Thank you.
It's great to see you again, and thanks for coming. But we'll move on again. We've got another bloke in the room. Do you want to come up, Todd? We'll have a little yarn. So let's hear it for Todd Limbury, everybody. So we're sort of jumping and changing with the people that we've got. But when I was at Darwin City, I promoted out of Alice Springs to sergeant into Darwin City. I'd never worked in metropolitan in my life. I'd only ever done regional and remote. So city policing's pretty universal. It's basically the same. Darwin's got a territory twist, but it's pretty well policing. You're in a big city. It's a first world country. It is what it is, with the add-ons of the NT challenges. And I'll leave it at that. So when I turn up there, I need to know a little bit about how we do things because out in the bush you do everything pretty well. In regional centres you've got a little bit more support. You've got obviously specialist units as far as investigation units and lots of people. But when you get to the city, you've got resources everywhere. You've got lots of different specialist organisations, but the GDs basically will go to a job, sort it out, put specialists on it, move on. So it was the first time that we saw that real metropolitan policing. And thank God I had a bloke who actually knew what he was doing. So, welcome mate, how you going?
Good, mate, yourself?
Good. So, obviously we worked together for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I've told a couple of stories. It's funny, I think I've dropped your name a couple of times relatively out there, but
Yeah.
sorry about that. Yeah. So, do you want to run us through what we used to get up to, and basically our little PG, because we had a cracking little patrol group there for a while.
Yeah. So when Damo showed up, I'd probably been at Darwin Station 2.5, 3 years, I suppose. At the time, Darwin was going through a fairly heavy spate of property crime offences, and it was very rare you'd go through a night without having a number of stolen cars. Pursuits were a fairly common occurrence, and we had a particular sergeant at the Casuarina police station at the time who could just sniff out stolen cars. And you'd hear him go mobile in his unmarked Commodore, and you'd know within 10 minutes he would have something, and just the calmest voice you've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
BKM, this is 222, pursuit. Outbound Stewart Highway. And we'd all go, yes!
And it's not ours! Yeah.
We don't have to do the paperwork for this one. Amazing. And this has been going on for a while. So we'd they'd go out, they'd head out to Palmerston, and then they'd come back in again, and we'd pick them up as they came back across the Berrimah line. This particular day, for whatever reason, me and Damo were in the car together. And this pursuit was like the Benny Hill show. It went in, it went out, it came back again, went through a set of roadworks, and they terminated on us. And on the radio, you hear the Territory Duty Superintendent go, "I'm number 3 in this pursuit. I'm happy with how everything is going. Permission to re-engage." So we find this car just as it's heading back in on Bagot Road. Get in behind it, doing a decent speed, and it's coming up to anyone who knows Darwin. Bagot Road ends in a flyover. It goes up and around and into the city. And I go to Damo, they're going to go right. So yeah, no, I've got it. Damo, they're going to go right. As they get up to this little gap in the fence, just enough to fit a single car through, they go right. Through the fence, up into Ludmilla, and they're gone. He's gone, oh! And so he decides he's going to do a U-turn. And I'm going, "You're not going to make it." "Oh, I'll make it. Doesn't make it. Smashes into the gutter at 50 k's an hour, pop. There goes the tyre.
Yeah.
Keeps going, flat. All right. So we've been driving at a fair rate of knots for quite a while of time now, and this wheel is hot. So pull over on the side of the road, facing the wrong way up a 3-lane road, and decide we're going to have to change the tyre. Pull the tyre out, and there we are. We're burning the fingertips trying to get the lug nuts off, get the wheel off, get it on. Meanwhile, this pursuit's still going. They've found the car again. It's gone through the city, and it's coming back again. Get the tyre on, drop it down, and they go, and we're turning outbound on Bagot Road. We go, sweet, jump back in the car, off we go. Follow this car outbound again, and about 2 minutes later, it crashes through the fence into one of the communities, and we catch them all up, wrap them up, and that's it.
Yeah.
Great little time.
And then I ran up, cuddled the superintendent. So I'd come from Alice Springs where everything got terminated. So you'd go to start up a shoot and it'd be terminated before it even started. So I couldn't believe they let us run. We're doing this pursuit. We're calling it, everything's fine. We're doing it per the policy. Yeah, sure, I didn't work out my physics very well and I busted the tyre. I'd even say it worked out quite well because it put us as a unit back right where they came back to. So the car came back to where we were and we ended up arresting them all.
Yep.
So it worked out pretty well. But I was so happy that they let us actually get into it. So I ran up and physically cuddled the Territory Duty Superintendent on the side of the road and went, "Thank you, sir. I can't believe you let us have a pursuit. I haven't had a pursuit for years. I love pursuits. They're so much fun." So yeah, and then he said, "Get off me, bud." So yeah, that was how that went. And I think the offenders were right next to me as well. And they looked at me funny and yeah. So anyway, that was us. But mate, I'll tell you what, the reason I wanted to get you up is because a shift sergeant, especially when it's your first gig, is a hell of a thing. So you come off the road and you're a senior constable, so you're pretty good at your job, but you're still hands-on. You're very much a worker. You're an experienced worker. You know your stuff, but you're not in charge of people. So all of a sudden, I'm in charge of people. And there's nothing better for a leader to have someone who's right below in rank, but going, "Right up, boys, you heard the sergeant, let's go." So I had a senior constable with plenty of experience who was my number 2, I'd quite often leave you by yourself. If I had other numbers, I'd team the other guys up and send them out, and I'd leave him by himself. It was really good because then I had a floater, so Todd could float and go job. He could tidy up little shitty jobs, and he could also be a number 3 at a big job. And then if it really hit the fan, I could push forward and have an operations officer basically, and I could step back and be a forward controller. So it was outstanding to have someone like you on that team, because we had a few very, very junior coppers. Darwin City was a little bit blessed in that we had a bit of seniority, but they weren't interested in leading. They were just there to do their job, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I bloody appreciated you, mate. It was good to have you there, and I know that you stepped up and were acting sergeant plenty of times when I wasn't there. So, yeah. But yeah, the old pop tie story. I thought I'd better put a face to a name. The other thing we were famous for, mate, was CPR.
I don't know what our count was in the end.
Well, I'm personally 23. That wasn't all in Darwin,
Yeah.
but 23-0.
Yeah.
23-0.
Our patrol group was known as the Grim Reapers for quite a period of time there. It was a regular occurrence. For a good 6 months, we probably did one a block.
Yeah.
Where you just, St. John's, urgent assistance, CPR in progress, and here we go again. And you go every single time, and you're like, oh, I think out of the whole patrol group, the only people who managed to save somebody was, I won't mention them, but the only reason they saved them is because they didn't touch them. They walked in, it was a couple of junkies, and they were already doing CPR, and they went, "You're doing a good job, you keep that up." And old mate came back, and they were like, "Oh, turns out the trick is just not to touch them at all."
Maybe I should listen to them. So with that as well, there's a serious side to this, because I've got to remember, I've got to look after these guys, and we're going to a lot of this. We're seeing my guys are exposed to death constantly, and not only that, they've got a bit of a vested interest because they've tried to bring them back. So I remember you were first on scene at the girl who drowned in the pool behind the Indonesian consulate. So I was later on scene. I had to organise things and get there. And I had the reassuring voice over the radio. I knew Todd was there. Right, we're under control. But I'm hearing full resus, we need this, we need that. I wasn't close. I was in Casuarina doing something. So I had to come back and I had to break away from Kaz. I go, my boys are in full resus in Darwin City. I've got to go. So I break away and I'm screaming along to get to this job. But it was like I'm getting a running commentary, sit reps off Todd. St. John's were very tied up, but then I get this text message, she's in rigor, mate. So rigor mortis. So I'm getting a beautiful, politically correct call over the radio going, yeah, full resus, we're doing this, and I'm screaming. He can remember going, yeah, I'm code 1, I'm on my way. We don't use codes, but you know what I mean. So I'm full noise, and he can hear my siren over my radio. And I think he wanted me to slow down. So he's gone, mate, she's in rigor, doing street theatre to keep the other people happy. She's been dead for 3 hours, like, just don't worry about it. Anyway, I turn up and the boys were doing a great job, but as I walked over and went, oh yeah, that's so obvious that she's just so obviously deceased. And yeah, you just ran them, mate. It was good. It was a big job. But we had another one. But the boys had turned up and they go, yeah, one confirmed deceased. I went, yeah, no worries, I'll wake up and over the radio. I go, oh, negative, he's alive! We need a supervisor now! And anyway, it was an attempt. We laugh, but you got to. It was an attempt suicide, and it didn't look like an attempt on first inspection until he went, and they went, holy shit! Come on, mate, you're good. So yeah, I turned up to that, and I think you were right behind me there too.
Yep.
And I won't go into the colourful language there. You've got to remember the body-worn camera is only a relatively new thing. So many of us never worked with body-worn camera before. And as a result, shit, I did it.
There's some very interesting footage out there. Yeah. The first probably 12 months of the Northern Territory Police having body-worn footage.
Yeah. And a lot of it, you would look at it and go, that's just coppers dealing with stuff. That's just them talking amongst themselves and dealing with things with black humour. But yeah. What do you want to add, mate? You got any stories?
You and one of the another pursuit story because they're fun. We did a lot of pursuits over that period of time. It was just before we had a decent resolution strategy. We had recently introduced the Nighthawk which was a
Rubbish.
It was a briefcase which had an explosive device. You hit the button and it telegraphs this spikes out. You and the Palmerston shift supervisor, for whatever reason, you're out in the rural area doing something. I think you've been tasked by the watch commander to go and do something out there. And this stolen van is out and about. The Nighthawk wasn't working properly, so you dragged it down across the road and managed to puncture the first two tyres of this van. However, the young fella driver was like, I'm not getting arrested tonight. Turns out from where he was to Hidden Valley Racetrack was pretty much a straight road. So he drove the van with no front tyres all the way to the first corner. And it was just sparks.
Just a fireworks show.
Fire. Yeah. We just blocked off the road and just watched this van come all the way into town, hit the first corner and went, oh, I can't turn anymore. He had no wheels left. He was running on the pretty much rear wheels.
The rims were gone.
The rims were gone. He was on the hubs and the front of the car. You could for months, you could see the gouges down Tiger Granite Drive, which is the main road from Palmerston into Darwin City, down the main road where this guy just driven for, I think he went for about 15 k's from the rural area nearly into the city. And then he just gets out and goes, oh, I didn't know what you guys wanted. Stone cold sober, just didn't want to stop.
Just scared, I think.
Just scared.
Those Nighthawks were rubbish. They were a good theory, but they just didn't work. So they were pretty complex. You had to fire them out. I don't know, anyone familiar with the Nighthawks? No? For a briefcase that just goes boof, blows the thing out over the road. It was to do with officer safety, so you're not there deploying a stinger. Anyway, stingers were just 10 times as good. They were the go. So for those who don't know, stingers are the concertina tyre deflation device that goes across the road, and it's more risky because you've got to get closer to the car, but those Nighthawks just never worked. But my God, we deployed a lot of stingers. We did a lot of, it was pretty Wild West.
Yes, yeah, it was. I mean, once we got the stingers, and before the car thieves realised that we could stop them, because they'd steal cars, they'd go for a drive, and eventually they'd just dump them, and we'd catch about 25% of them. As soon as we got the stingers in every car, we were catching them all.
100%.
Because they didn't know what happened. All of a sudden, the tyres went flat, and there was half a dozen police cars around them. And we just boxed them in and grabbed them all that, and they went, oh. And a few of them might have tried to fight back once or twice and learnt very quickly and told all their mates that they've got stop sticks now, and they'll catch you, and you might get a beating.
So, just a bit of advice for anyone who's going to join the police force, and if you ever become a shift sergeant, and if you ever see one of your constables drag someone out of the car and punch them in the head really well and throw them, all justified, he's fighting back. Don't yell out, oh, good hit, mate. It's not a good look.
Especially on the body worn.
Yeah, on the body worn camera, 5 different angles, doesn't sound great. Yeah. No, mate, it was, Todd, it was a bloody pleasure, mate. I was happy to have you there, and I'm really glad we got to get you on. So,
no dramas.
If you're happy, you got anything else you want to say? Are you happy with that?
No, keep it a good work, mate.
Happy days. Round of applause for Todd, ladies and gents. Until I see.
Well, mate, I think there's we haven't actually mentioned yet the Cartonable Offence.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've spoken about it in the podcast. However, today, anybody that owes a carton, it's $50, put it on the bar.
So the other thing we want to do is we want to hear about it.
Yeah.
If you want to share it, Damon, that's all right. You old blokes did some wild shit back in the day. Keep it under wrap. And Victoria's a wild show, just quietly. So, anybody got a good story they want to tell? Anyone got a carton over the bar? What are you smiling about, Carlos?
I reckon hitting the red button, mate, is definitely a carton.
That's a carton, I think. And man, you haven't had a drink in God knows how long, have you? Yeah. No, just a drink, no. There we go.
He tells it.
He tells it, yep, no trouble. We've got a story. So, Ames, do you mind going down? We're going to get a story here. I'll give you a microphone. Oh, there's one there. Righto. So we want to hear a cartonable offence. It's bloody cartonable at the beginning of the story. Don't worry about that.
All right. So I'm ex-Vic Pole.
What's your name? You've got to introduce yourself.
Sorry, first name's Athel. I have cruel parents, gave me a shit name. But surname's Chaffey, and everyone knows me as Chaffs. So 35 years with Vicpol, retired nearly 3 years ago.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Went to high school with this young man, Max Michael. People call him Jared. I've never heard the word Jared before, but to me, he's been Maxie forever. We're a couple of years apart in school, but he was in the same year as my younger brother. And he was a bit of a larrikin at school, so grew up in Western Victoria, a little town called Horsham, about 12,500 people. So everyone was related or everyone knew everyone. So I'm 4 years in the job. Transfer from what was PSG, Protective Securities Group. We did WITSEC, all that sort of line searches.
Witness security.
Yes,
We do a lot of civilian.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's why TikToks for defensive tactics.
So we did the Wall Street trials. We looked after the witnesses for Wall Street trials, all that sort of time in that era. So May 92, I transferred to Dandenong uniform. I haven't been there very long, and I'm walking down the corridor and I see this head, this rough head. He had hair back then and owned a razor. But for some unknown reason, Dandenong, I don't know Sydney very well. I don't know Brisbane very well. But Dandenong was a roughish sort of area, out of suburban area, big population, busy station, but good fun. And a lot of the sergeants that worked at Dandenong were senior connies at Dandenong, were connies at Dandenong. So there was not a lot of, I don't know how to explain it. It was very shallow.
So it's a very experienced station with not a lot of new blood. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of turnover. People would gravitate back to the same station for some reason. Just nuts. But anyway, so for some unknown reason, they put us on a div van, an afternoon shift together. So Max is driving. So if anyone ever gets offered for Max to drive, just say no. No, thank you. He's offered to take me up in a chopper. Not a fucking... Oh, sorry. No chance whatsoever. So we're driving down Gladstone Road in Dandenong, just afternoon shift, nothing out of the ordinary, midweek I reckon it was. It's a busy station. We're doing 20 jobs a shift. So we're between jobs, going from one to another. I'm a connie. I'm a fairly senior connie before getting stripes. He's just a muppet. So he's driving, we're going down the road, we get a job, and I don't even remember what the job was, but it was a reasonably hot job, and we're stuck in traffic at the traffic lights. Oh, there you go. There you go, hot burg. I don't even remember that.
That's a burglary that's just taken place.
Oh,
Hot burg.
I hope you've got good editing skills. But
No.
So we're stuck. We're in traffic. We're in 2 lanes. We're on, I reckon we're on the inside lane, so the right-hand lane, but can't go anywhere. So Max just throws it into reverse, and we're going backwards. And then you hear, bang. So, fuck. So Max, I look at Max and go, what the? And he just, it's all right, chaps. So stops, puts it in park, gets out of the car, walks back, and I can hear, because the driver's side door's still open, I can hear, what are you doing? You just ran into us. It's fine. See you later.
You dodgy bastard.
Mid 92, late 92. So gets back in the van. I'm still in shock, thinking, fuck, got to call the sergeant. Now we're just involved in a hit and run. We're driving south on Gladstone Road.
Yeah, but you're not investigating.
Back in the day, if something happened and you were the observer in the van, the easy get out of jail free card was, I was looking at the Melways. And the Melways was a book that showed you all the maps of Melbourne. Didn't see anything, Sarge. I was reading the Melways, or I was doing the running sheet. So we go to this...
We can put those bloody Melways, boy.
We go to this job, wrap the job up, that's no worries, and hear over the radio, Dandenong 303, return to station. So we go back to the station, driving back, thinking, fuck, we're in a shit here. This is not going to be good. go and see the sergeant. I can't remember the sergeant's name and probably shouldn't mention it anyway. But he says, what happened? I've had this bloke come into the station and report that you've crashed into him and then you've driven off. And Max goes, no, that didn't happen. We put it in, we put it in reverse. But I saw him at the last second. I managed to stop, didn't hit him. Well, let's go and have a look at the back of the van. And in those days, not a mark. We had a bar on the back of the van, a black, almost like a bull bar, for want of a better word, just a single bar. Not a mark on it. And I'm reasonably certain it was a shitty old Cortina, like a TC or a TD Cortina. Yep, chrome bumper, and it's got rust marks on it. Like, it's not a very well looked after Cortina. And the sergeant's, this victim of crime said, this is where he hit me, this is where he hit me. And the sergeant's looking at him, there's nothing there, that's just rust. Off you go. Yeah. So we get to drive away. Yeah, that's scot-free.
Yeah, that's a cut.
Yeah, that's a round of applause. That's a cut.
So the thing you need to know, Max Michael, VP 28536.
Oh. I've got a rebuttal to it though, because you should give a chance to actually. You can hold it. So you should have a chance to sort of rebuttal this stuff. And as I recall, I was at Dandenong and I was, up and coming at the time, just shortly before I was charged again. And in comes Athel to the station and Chaffs. And of course, I want to show him around a little bit and make sure he knows what's going on. He has to do the running sheet, even though he's apparently the senior member. And so a hot job comes up, and it's a female at home, and she's got offenders kicking through the back door. And I'm a little bit, I want to get there to catch the crooks and help this person. And Chaff's got his head in page 89 of the Dandenong, Melways, and he's completely stuffed it up, right? So we can't get to the job. He's pushed me through an intersection, lights and bells. We're on the other side of the intersection now, and the offending house is on the other side, right? And we're stuck. So, of course, I looked in the mirrors of the van. I put it into reverse. I may or may not have nudged a car. I've then given the driver my details for follow-up at a later date, and we've attended the scene whilst I've counselled my senior member as to how to read the Melways and try and catch the offenders. But that's my recollection. That's my recollection.
Let's have another round of applause for that, mate.
Well, mate, I believe that's 2 cartons.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
You already put a hunch on there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on. No, beautiful. Well played, mate. That's excellent. Yeah. Who else? What do we got? Anyone got one? Anything from the construction trades world? Burnsy, why are you smiling at me like that?
I was going to say, that reminds me of being in the car with an off-duty policeman in Catherine one day.
Yeah, fair enough.
And we're driving down the road following a police car. And we're getting closer to in our personal car, getting close to the intersection and watching the police car slow down in front of us. It's slowing down a bit more and we're not. I'm like, Damo, stop! And he stopped just in time to just kiss the back of the police ute, like it was a cage, and just enough for the policeman to feel it as well. So they jumped up and they out of the car and just saw it was Damo. We're like, what? I can't even remember.
It was,
the rest
yeah, but the front, I won't mention the name, but she comes around the front and goes, what are you doing? You just rammed into me and said, well, why didn't you go? You had plenty of room to go. It's like, I was looking up to give way to the right and I just assumed she was an assertive driver and she bloody wasn't. So I've actually accelerated off and Eva's gone, Damo! And I went, oh, shit. And it's just gone, boop. And just lifted the back of the Hilux just enough for Joe to realise I'd smacked her up the bum. Anyway, she came back. I mentioned her name. Well, we're good at that. So anyway, it was, anyway, we had a really good, I thought, well, there's no getting out of it. It's like if we've damaged the police car, I've hit the police car, simple as that. Anyway, it's not a coronial, it's a departmental. So anyway, we have a look at it and I'm like, oh, just please, I don't need this. Because it's 100% I'm getting a ticket. 100% I'm getting, it didn't matter, breath test, all the rest of it, that's no drama. But anyway, we look at the back bumper and I'm in fine detail trying to find any damage and there's not a mark on the police car. I didn't give a shit about the front of our car, but there's not a mark. Yeah, but it was never going to be a problem. Anyway, it was like, oh, we'll just call it a day, shall we? Yeah, no, see you guys, have a good one. They're work colleagues. I just crashed into the back of them. Happened to be a citizen on the road that day.
Well, you're playing tag.
Yeah. I've already played a carton for that, but I definitely will play another one. Who we got? Oh, here we go. Sure,
Well, look, guys, I reckon what we do is actually have a bit of a break.
yeah, we
We're
got
going to have interim, just so, like, because otherwise I've got to go to the toilet. And I'm sure
Otherwise, she'll see your wedding pants.
Well, yeah, so, but yeah, I can easily pause the recording and then I reckon we kick on. What do you reckon?
Great idea.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you all again very soon.